Senator Burns, your first answer to this question. In 2001, the federal debt was $5.6 trillion. Today it is $8.5 trillion, with foreign governments holding much of that debt. How is this situation affecting the U.S. today and in the future?
It's of a concern. It's of a concern. But you grow out of it. And the economy continues to grow. I think whenever this budget this time, it come in and they said it was going to be about $500 billion in a deficit. It's going to be less than 3 because the economy continues to grow. Here in Montana, our economy continues to grow. We got more people owning their own homes now and working than in the history of the state. Our GDP is up. And so we'll grow through it. But as far as our debt to asset ratio, we are still lower than we were, say, during the Reagan years. We're still within that margin. And I will tell you, we got to win this war. We didn't have Katrina. Katrina cost, and the economy of 9/11 cost this country. It was a terrible loss. In fact, you can't even fathom how much it crippled our economy when it happened in 9/11. We're just now getting through that. Do you realize last year was the first year that we got back to boardings on airlines what they were prior to 9/11? That's where you've been. And that's the impact that it's had on our country. And we will grow out of it because the economy continues to expand. More people working, new jobs, different jobs in new directions. That's pretty darned exciting. And our deficit will be a lot lower than forecast, say, just 6 months ago. Yes, it's a concern. You bet it's a concern. Because I got a granddaughter that I don't want to saddle with a lot of debt either. But we've always operated within the budget. The budget as demanded by the American people. And I thank you.
Mr. Tester.
I just want to touch real quick before I get into this debt thing because it's important. But the Medicare Part D, it needs to be simplified. Senator Baucus did come up with a plan to simplify it. You need to support that, Senator Burns. Also, close the donut hole so people get coverage for what they're paying for. And the last thing is allow importation for safe Canadian drugs, reimportation. I think it's the right thing to be doing. And if you're willing to do that when you go back, then I won't have to do it in January. The other point is that as far as the debt goes, you know, saying that the debt's only half as big as it was last year is like saying I'm maintaining my weight gain. We've got a problem. I've been fortunate, as I told you earlier, to be on the farm that my grandfather homesteaded back in 1916. It was through good fiscal management by my grandfather and grandmother and by my dad and mother that allows us to have this kind of opportunity to be able to farm and for me to be up here today. We've got to have people back in Washington, D.C. that are willing to live within their means. Senator Burns has increased the debt limit many, many times over, except on election years, and he doesn't. It's time you have somebody back there that knows how to balance a checkbook. I've balanced it on my farm. I've balanced it in the state legislature. And we do it for 2 years at a time. And we did it this year without increasing taxes. That's my record.
Your farm didn't get hit by Katrina. Your farm didn't get hit by terrorists. Your farm got hit by a little disaster. I offered the checks and you cashed them up on that old farm. So that's a pretty bad comparison, John. That's a pretty bad comparison when you compare it to anything. And you can take exception to that, but you took the checks, right?
Well, can I respond to that?
Yeah, I think. And then on the taxes.
No, Senator Burns, you make the claim. I'll respond.
Let's
talk about food security. Let's not talk about having a farm program that doesn't benefit multinational food corporations first, but balances family farmers and ranchers first. Let's talk about country of origin labeling. You want to talk agriculture? Let's talk about a drought in north central Montana that's gone on for 6 to 8 years. And if you think those checks from the government has made me flush. You're wrong. I've had to reduce my expenses. I've had to pay as I go, which is exactly what the federal government needs to do.
Thank you, Mr. Tester.
Now, on the taxes. On the taxes. We go right back. But the point is
1 minute.
that it's a bad comparison. In other words, you didn't get hit by those kind of disasters. And anyway, but this economy can grow. And we will get there. We've done it before in this country, and we'll do it again. And if you don't have that faith in this system, in this country to do it, then are we going to do away with our whole system? I don't think so. We got a lot of faith in the people. I think the people can do it. That's where my faith is.
Mr. Tester, did you want to respond to that one more time?
You know what? I did it. That's fine.
Okay.